This is a comparison of the trains in Stockholm in Sweden. Now in Stockholm there is the metro, the commuter rail, the trams and the narrow gauge railway. So on my trip to Stockholm it feels like I was too late because there's only one old metro train still running and the rest of the metro trains are all modern and very boring and faceless and were a right disappointment. As for other old trains, there was also, as well as the railways I mentioned, a separate suburban rail line with the old X10 trains, but this line has completely been ripped up to be rebuilt with new trains, which is also a bloody disappointment. But there's still one type of old train running with loads in service, and that is not the X10 but the X10 narrow gauge edition. This is like an X10 but shrunk down to a miniature version, and it looks like a toy train. Yet this is not a heritage line. This is a train people have to use every day to go into work, and it is a very interesting train full of character. A very small toy-like railway but running in regular public service. It is epic. Let's ride it. narrow gauge railway done, let's now take a look at the commuter rail. This is somewhat like the equivalent of Crossrail in London. It's a new commuter railway. The trains are quite nice, although a little bit characterless, but at least they still got a very nice sounding VF drive. The central part of this railway has platform doors. So while travelling on the commuter rail, there's actually a couple of fails, such as this train which overrun the station. Then the train had to reverse back into position. Then, when I got on the train, the driver still had the train in reverse, so when I put on the power to start the train off, the train went the wrong way!
Oh, fuck.
And only after that did the driver then go the correct way. This train had a slightly louder VF drive than the other train, so let's take a listen to it. And also another fail, the lights were off on the train while running through the central tunnel sections, making it very dark. So then, that's the commuter rail done. Let's now move on to the trams. In Stockholm, there's actually 4 separate tram systems. Let's start off with Tram 21. This goes from the end of the red metro line across onto an island. This is my favourite tram line in Stockholm. now take a look at Tram 12. This starts in a metro station on the Green Line, so you've got the same level interchange between the metro train and the tram. Then this tram goes off a couple of miles down the route.
Anslutning till tunnelbanan Gröna, tvärbanan samt till bussar.
Ja, det är lite att tänka på kanske. Det var ju kanske att vi snart
Let's now take a look at Tram 30. This is the semicircular tram route that goes round the edge of Stockholm. Sadly though, it's a bit slow. It got stuck in traffic a few times when I was on it, and on the straight segregated sections the tram only got to 30 miles an hour. That's a bit slow. And now let's take a look at the worst tram of Stockholm, Tram 7. Now in my opinion, I know loads of people disagree with this, I think trams that run entirely along the road are a waste of time. Because what's the point of a tram when it's doing nothing special? The whole point of a tram is it's meant to be mixed mode, so it can run on the road and then on its own tracks where it can speed up. Having the entire thing on the road means it does nothing better than a bus, and also a bus would probably even be slightly faster than a tram. Now I'm not saying that because I don't want it to exist, so I really like seeing tram infrastructure, but at least they could build it properly so it actually goes quick. This tram was a waste. And here is a tram track cleaning machine. So then, that's the trams done. Let's now move on to the metro. One thing about this metro which is very interesting is the train stations. Some of the stations are blast dug into the stone of Stockholm, and then spray on concrete is added onto the stone of the walls and ceiling. It's very weird looking, very unusual and very creepy. The building station's so weird. Like stonework and then put some poured concrete over it. Sounds hollow if you hit it. Like I've just sprayed it over the actual stones. Although some of the theming of the metro stations is very odd, such as this station that looks like it's been graffitied by a 3-year-old. Sadly, despite the stations looking very interesting, this metro system is ruined by the faceless, boring trains that it runs. In fact, only one old train was left when I visited. So before we take a look at the interesting old train, let's take a look at the regular trains, and to be honest, this ruins what would be a very interesting metro system because the trains are just so bland. And now let's take a look at the newer type of metro train. This train looks very modern on the outside, but the interior of the train is just as bland as the other type. And even though these metro trains do accelerate well and run at quite a fast speed, they're just so soundproofed and just boring to ride on. let's now take a look at the old type of metro train. Only one left. This train is very interesting and full of character, and this interesting old train running through the very creaky metro stations is very atmospheric, and this train is very characterful. Let's take a ride on it. Then, as this train is about to be replaced, let's give it the perfect farewell send-off. Sadly though, I can't show you this on YouTube, so to see my send-off train surf, you're going to have to click a link in the description. As for now, here is some bonus footage. As we've now seen the narrow gauge trains, commuter rail, trams and metro system, there is another type of transport in Stockholm, and that is the boats. In fact, there's two competing boat transports in this city. There is the public service boats, and then there's also the more expensive privately run boats that go further out to the distant islands. Sadly, I didn't go on the private boats as they were bloody expensive, which is annoying because their routes looked very interesting because they had some crazy long routes on this. As for the public service boats, first to Route 80. This route's divided for some reason at Ropsten station, so you can't do the whole route in one go. This runs some fairly newish looking boats, but these boats are a bit slow. Let's now take a look at the longest route on the public service boats. Although not as long as some of the routes on the private boats, this is still a very long boat route, and this runs a slightly older looking boat, and out of the city this boat goes 20 miles an hour. This is a weird boat.
Buss 83 mot Rimdö via Vaxholm avgår om 29 minuter.
Den här